everybody, it's MiaMor, and this video is 6 quick tips for transitioning into living in South Korea. I know when I first got here, I had watched so many videos of teachers who had already lived here or were living here still, and I was looking for the best way to transition in terms of my communication because I hadn't studied or learned really any Korean before I got here. The only thing I knew how to say was 안녕하세요. So I really had to learn as I went along. So I just want to make this for people who are signing contracts, getting ready to come over here, who know that it is a definite, and who are essentially going to be living outside of the major cities where you have a lot of people who speak and are willing to speak English. Use whatever Hangul that you know, okay? Like I said, the only thing I knew how to say was 안녕하세요, and I think 감사합니다, okay? And that's hello and thank you. And I ran with it. Usually when you speak to Koreans and they feel like you're trying, even if you sound crazy, they will open up and put their wall down and will try to communicate with you more so than if you go in there and you just start speaking English or your native language. Like it's really not the juice. Imagine if somebody came and did that to you. So just use whatever Hangul that you know and can pick up. Now, if you come over here and you've learned a little bit of Hangul, and even if you don't know any, and they try to speak English to you, that means that they really are not defensive and they feel like they can communicate with you and try their English with you or probably practice. Don't correct them unless they ask you to. For example, if you go into a CU or a 7-Eleven and you start speaking in Hangul and they start speaking in English, then that means the barrier has been brought down and you can slowly start to speak English to them. Now, when they speak English to you back, don't say, oh no, it's this, it's not that, it's this. You know, if you can understand them, even with their accent, then just go with it, just flow with it, okay? You're not paid to correct people who you come in contact with on the street. You're paid to teach the students who come in your classroom. So just kind of appreciate that they are trying to communicate with you in English. Now, refer to my other videos about Konglish. And if you know any Konglish, which you will after watching these videos, use it, okay? I'm not saying to use it all the time after you've lived here for some months. I'm talking about when you first get here and you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to communicate, buy groceries? How am I going to talk to my students who know absolutely no English at first? I think it is okay to use the Konglish that you know, because once they see, it's like I said, it's all a relatability factor. It's all they're willing to welcome my culture, and they're not just coming here to essentially oppress us through language. But if you know any type of Konglish, use it. It's okay. It's fun. They kind of know that it's not a real language, hopefully. And once the bonds have been formed, you can start to explain to them this is not the real word for that, okay? This is not the real meaning. But in the beginning, it's okay. Now, once you start to pick up words in Hangul, if you can master the accent and the sounds that go along with the word, please use it, and they will actually commend you on your pronunciation and your usage of accent. So if I get in a taxi and I say you ill go doing hakyo, 9 times out of 10 they're not really gonna understand me. But if I go on the taxi and I'm like yul, okay, it doesn't sound like you ill. If an American reads it or an English speaking person reads it, they say you ill, but here it usually sounds like yul. So I have to get in a taxi and I have to say yul go dung hakyo, and then they'll say yeah yul yago, and you know, yeah. So if you can pick up, just listen, do a lot of listening. When you first get here, just listen, and there will be words that you will hear all the time, and then you start to ask, what does this mean? What does this mean? But just pay attention to the accent and how they use it. Your body language means a lot. Also, realia helps a lot. What is realia? If I'm talking about a pencil And of course, Hangul, the word pencil is not pencil. But if I'm talking about a pencil and I have a pencil, I'm going to show a pencil. If I need a writing utensil and I'm like, do you have a pen? Do you have a pen? Do you have a pencil? They're not going to understand all that I just said. But if you go, you know what I mean? Visuals are the same worldwide. Miming is the same. Realia, the actual item, is the same. So try to use as much of that as you can. Body language, you know, sometimes you're going to be acting it out. You're going to be a mime. And also that goes along with body language is, do you come across like like the Hulk trying to buy some snacks at the 7-Eleven? Or are you there and you might not necessarily have to be smiling, but do you have a pleasant demeanor? Because that plays a lot with it too, especially if you can't communicate verbally with someone. So just keep those things in mind. And I did this a lot for the first year. I know it's probably not the best way, but it worked and the people were usually understanding. I use Google Translate app. Okay, there's an app for that. Every time I wanted to do something, and there were lots of times where it wouldn't translate it correctly, but for the most part, if you keep the phrase or the word to 1 to 3 words long, usually they can read it and they will identify one of the words and will kind of guess what you mean. Okay, so use that to your advantage. Don't abuse it. Try to learn the language a little bit, but like I said, this is when you first get here. These are just some of my tips. If you have any more, and if you have any more questions, leave them below because someone might stumble across and be able to help you and answer your questions in the comments. Again, if you're coming over to South Korea, you've signed the contracts, you're coming to teach, travel, whatever, good luck to you. Have fun. It's a great place. It's a lot of fun. The people are great. These are just some tips for you. So again, thank you for watching and I'll see you again next time. Bye.